Hey guys, it's Rusty from DEFCON Supply. Watching the news, we're seeing a lot of scenarios where folks are getting what I'd say ambushed or surrounded by hostile groups. Guys need to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're screwed. If you just walk out into the middle of something and you don't have an idea what to do or whatever, you're just a caged animal. You're trapped. So you got to have a plan. If your plan involves firearms, then you need to make sure that you understand when and when you can't shoot. The standard in Oklahoma is that you must be somewhere lawfully. It's lawful and legal for you to be where you are doing the activity you are. And then there's got to be an imminent threat of grave bodily harm or death. So someone's made a threat, or a reasonable person would look at the circumstances and say, yes, this person was in fear of grave bodily harm or death happening right now. Those are your standards. If they don't meet those standards, you got to figure something else out. That said, I believe in the better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6 rule. So we're just going to kind of work on a couple of little drills down here today to try to stay up to date on the changing scenarios right now. I think robberies and things like that, those still happen, but we've got to add some extra like civil unrest type scenarios into our training. So I thought I'd run through a couple of drills and we'll just see how it goes. Also, guys, I'm using some special ammo on this stuff. Unless you have ammo that's made for very close range steel shooting, I would change up any scenarios I work on to keep your ricochet problems down. Let's see how it goes. One's being aggressive or squaring off. I see a lot of these videos online of people that are giving it this number or looking away or trying not to make eye contact, and they're getting sucker punched. Well, if you think someone's, being aggressive or whatever, you need to be facing them, toes pointed towards them, knees bent, ready to take a hit. The most important thing is you're going to want to protect your head for that first shot, because the only way a human can get quickly taken out is a headshot. So you always want to protect your head in that initial contact if you're not the person that's making the first move. If you're being purely defensive, you've got to protect that head. So always try to kind of practice that, and always face them. Don't give it this number and I'm ignoring you, because you are going to get knocked the hell out. Okay, hey buddy, I'm just trying to get the gun. Good buddy, I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble. All right, if you've just been in a scenario like this, my advice to you is going to be extricate yourself from the scene. We don't know who's coming. We don't have control of this environment. My advice is get somewhere safe. Make sure you're not followed. Make sure nobody jumped in the car and they're following you to ambush you. Get somewhere safe, call the police. Don't make a lot of statements without an attorney present. But do call, because if you don't call, it makes you look guilty. So, guys, if you've got time to practice, practice. The time to try to learn how to do something is not when it starts happening. You need to have run the scenarios before that. Everybody needs to know the plan. If you've got a wife, girlfriend, son, daughter that are someone you're going to have to defend, they need to know their role. My advice, if you have a wife, son, daughter, grandson, granddaughter that is capable of learning how to shoot and become part of the the problem solving and not part of the problem, I would advise doing that. I'm lucky enough to have a wife that in some tactical scenarios, she's better than I am. I also feel like maybe she's less reluctant to shoot someone than I am. That's something that it's got to be in your brain. If you're not ready to defend yourself with deadly force, then don't carry a gun. Get you a big can of pepper spray, a stick, whatever you got to take to do. I'm not saying that's a wrong decision. It's your decision, but don't be halfway about it. If you're going to fight, you're going to have to fight. And if there's a line you won't cross, don't bring a tool that can be used against you if you won't cross that line. So anyways, DEFCON Supply, if we guys help you guys out, stay safe. Thanks.